Life in Peru in the rainy season can be a little bit difficult. The reason that being in Peru during their wet season is a bit difficult is a few reasons. So the first one is the Sacred Valley is a desert. So it doesn't normally rain much. Even in the wet season, it doesn't rain that much. Like it's raining right now and you can't even really tell. But the rain poses a few issues. First of all, like whenever there is rain happening that's over a certain amount, it makes the city water dangerous. They have a water processing plant, and to save you all the details, essentially when it rains too much, it overflows the plant and it's not able to process it correctly, which can make the water a little dangerous. And second of all, there is a river that runs through the Sacred Valley all year round. Sometimes it's much smaller, sometimes it's much bigger. And I actually learned an interesting fact. The Amazon River is filled by 70% of the water that flows through here. To be completely honest with you, I don't know where it comes from. But the water itself flows through, and when it rains, it can start to kind of overflow. When it comes to tourists like us, the big issues are the food. Whenever it's raining a lot, the food can be a little bit more dangerous because what was it washed in? What other things did it touch? How was it prepared? You have to be very careful about the choice of places that you go whenever you're going to eat when it's raining a lot. And you'd never think that the rain would cause that much of an issue. Secondly, the thing that you really want to look out for is places that normally aren't dangerous become dangerous. So being down by the water becomes dangerous. Going to Machu Picchu, all the little steps become really slippery, and you can't really see outside of Machu Picchu because all the clouds, and it can be a little bit claustrophobic. So the choices and things that you want to do as a tourist here get a little bit difficult because of the rain kind of coming into the area. And the last kind of issue that it causes, and one that it kind of personally impacts me, is the trash system here isn't the best, and the waste disposal situation here isn't the best. Now, there is city pipes that go and take all of the sewage somewhere where I particularly am. Some places don't have that. However, let's say you have the pipes, but you live in an area that's a little bit more run down, which is pretty common in the Sacred Valley. It's not what I would call impoverished, because the people have houses, they own the land that they live on, and they have food, but they have to work hard for their money. So sometimes they don't necessarily have a place to put all of their trash. They leave it out. There's stray dogs. When it gets wet and rainy, kind of creates a cesspool in the street of all of this like nastiness. You can kind of, I mean, I guess to you it might just look like dirt, but yeah. But there are a lot of benefits to being here in the rainy season too. So first and foremost, they've come up with a pretty devious scheme. So the mountains, which you can kind of see slightly behind me, always have water coming out of them. Now, I can't tell you why, but there's always water coming out of those guys. And when you're walking around, you'll come across these farms, and these farms have these really cool lattice work of just holes that are dug in the ground. No pipes, just holes. And they've, at the very front of their property, they'll have this like a guillotine style contraption that opens and shuts the water. So it's this metal plate that slides down into concrete, and then below the concrete there's like a little open space. So when it's fully closed, the pressure builds up of the water, which basically makes it circumvent somewhere else, and the pressure building up causes it to not flow as much. You can actually, as you're walking through all of the Sacred Valley, at least the areas that I'm familiar with, you can constantly see these little aqueducts. It's like a cement kind of like square like this in the ground, and the water's just running through it. So what they'll do is they'll let up this guillotine, they'll attach where the water comes out to the rest of their property, whether it's through a pipe or whatnot, and it'll just kind of, it'll water their entire property, and then they'll close the guillotine and it's done. So they don't actually, they set up in the beginning for the watering, but after that they don't really do much as far as the watering. It's kind of just done for them. It's ingenious. It's so smart. And the produce is a lot better when the rainy season is around too. It's kind of contradictory, because before I was saying that when it rains, the food can get worse. Well, the flavor gets better, but the actual food itself can be more dangerous. You just have to be a little bit more careful. So a good rule of thumb on that is if you can't peel it, don't eat it. And a lot of the meats are okay as long as they're cooked all the way through, but like as far as raw vegetables go, if it can't be peeled, don't eat it. All that being said, I really do enjoy living here. Life here is much slower, and in ways that's a good thing. I feel like so much of my life was fast, and I just always had things to do, and I'm getting really comfortable with that extra time and starting to utilize it properly. For the past few days, that was healing. Moving forward, it's building my online business more and more, but it's just such a beautiful kind of energy that you're in here. Everyone's so industrious, no one's really that judgmental, everyone's pretty open. Although they only really speak Spanish and Quechua, once you know how to communicate with them, they're very helpful. For those of you that watched this whole thing, I very much appreciate you. Right up here in this corner, right in the palm of my hand, is going to be a video that is perfectly being served to you. And if you look down here, there's going to be a little bubble. If you click on that, it'll make it stop raining so I can actually start enjoying food again. So if you could click that for me, that would really help me out. So I'll see you guys soon.